هل تعتقدون أن الدعاية الروسية مجرد لعبة سياسية؟ إن كان البعض يظن ذلك، إلا أنها هنا دمرت أمن صحافية فنلندية. يسيكا سيدة تحدت الكرملين، فماذا حصل لها؟ وكيف تم تهديد حياتها؟
According to the police estimate, I am facing the threat of impulsive violence if I'm in the wrong place in the wrong time.
لكن رغم كل شيء لم تخف وأصرت على التحقيق، واليوم تروي قصتها لأخبار الآن. يسيكا وبوتين سترولز يفضحان سلاح بوتين المعلوماتي. جميعنا سمع عن سعي روسيا الدائم من أجل نشر أخبار كاذبة في محاولة منها للتأثير على الدول وقلب مزاج شعوبها في اتجاه يحقق مصالح الكرملين. حرب المعلومات تلك التي تقودها روسيا تتسبب في مخاوف كبيرة ومتزايدة بالنسبة للناتو والاتحاد الأوروبي والديمقراطيات بشكل عام حول العالم. بوتين سترولز هو كتاب، لكنه أيضا عبارة عن تقرير مخيف عن حرب المعلومات الروسية يكشف أدوات بوتين من أفراد ومنظمات يقفون خلف عمليات وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي المنسقة ذات الطابع العسكري التي يقوم بها الكرملين ضد الغرب. في ذلك الكتاب تروي الصحفية الفنلندية الحائزة على عدة جوائز يسيكا قصتها الدرامية كهدف للدعاية الروسية. عندما بدأت بالتحقيق في تأثير عمليات التصيد التي قام بها الكرملين خارج روسيا، علمت أن الأشخاص العاديين في بلدان عديدة أخرى كانوا ضحايا للحملات الإعلامية التي صممها الكرملين باستخدام منصات اجتماعية غير منظمة بما في ذلك يوتيوب، فيسبوك وتويتر سابقا. تركز العديد من حملات التضليل الإعلامي حول الغزو الروسي لأوكرانيا العام 2014 وما تلا ذلك من احتلال لشبه جزيرة القرم. التقينا في أخبار الآن يسيكا وقد روت لنا كيف عانت على المستويين الشخصي والمهني أثناء سعيها الدؤوب لفتح الدعاية الروسية، لكن رغم تعرضها لتهديدات متكررة بالقتل وحياكة الافتراءات بحقها، إلا أنها أصرت على عملها وكشفت بشجاعة الحقيقة حول آلة دعاية الكرملين في ذلك الكتاب.
I wrote my book Putin's Trolls after I had started to investigate Russia's ongoing information warfare against the world back in 2014 as a journalist originally. And as I continued my investigation into the Kremlin's information aggression, I realized that as part of its plans to attack the West and the rest of the world, Russia and Putin's regime especially, they use an array of methods, also criminal methods, in order to attack in information space the people who are telling the truth about the Kremlin's policies. So I found out for my book that people are being targeted for Russian special services, social media, and fake news operations, as well as stalking and violence agitation online. So this is what I looked into. I interviewed people who have become targets of such attacks even outside Russia's borders. And I myself am one of these people. So the book tells stories of 9 different individuals that became targeted by the Kremlin's trolls and information warfare.
بمجرد أن بدأت التحقيق في سلوكيات المتصيدين الروس في مجال المعلومات العام 2014، أصبحت يسيكا نفسها هدفاً للأخبار المزيفة الروسية التي صورتها على أنها مجرمة ومتآمرة مع الغرب، وذلك ما دفع بالناس الذين قرأوا تلك الأخبار إلى التهجم عليها شخصياً، وهنا تكمن الخطورة لتلك الدعاية الروسية.
On September 2014, as soon as I had started to investigate the Russian trolls on social media, I started to receive contacts from Russian speakers from around the world who had read these filth stories about me and started sending me hate messages and even death wishes and calling me, only the sound of shooting gun, and this has continued ever since. So, for example, only one Finnish language pro-Kremlin fake news site has published over 300 filth stories about me, always portraying me as criminal, drug addict, drug dealer, helper of the CIA and FBI and different American security services. And you know, the worst thing is that real people believe in this. So there is now a big population in Finland who believe all of this, and only because I originally started to investigate Russia's information warfare. So this is what the Russian and the Kremlin's propaganda architects are really good at. They are really good at manipulating real people's ideas, attitudes, and even, you know, the worst thing, even their behavior. So, you know, according to the police estimate, I am facing the impulsive threat of, or the threat of impulsive violence if I'm in the wrong place in the wrong time. So basically, if some reader of this fake news finds me or bumps to me in the street, I might get my ass kicked or even worse. And this is really one of the really worrying consequences of Russian propaganda and the Kremlin's machinery of international information warfare. They are really fueling these antisocial, dangerous, and even threatening developments in different countries. And unfortunately, there are always some local people who are willing to follow the Kremlin's trolls' lead.
يستهدف الكرملين في دعايته مواضيع حساسة يلعب فيها على وتر يثير الناس بدرجة عالية وتجعلهم ينساقون خلف ما يريد الروس الترويج له. تقول يسيكا أن الكرملين يسوق لأفكاره عند العرب والمجتمع الدولي، فيقوم بتأجيج المشاعر الاجتماعية العدائية.
I would really want to bring to your attention how the Kremlin's trolls are building a division between the Western world and people in the West, and then the Arab world and Arab people. So this is, and Muslims too. So this is what's happening in pro-Kremlin sites, for example, in Northern Europe. So these Russian trolls can basically pose as real Arab people who are interested in you and come to speak to you, and sooner than you realized, you are part of some information warfare network without even knowing it. And this can happen on Facebook, Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram, on even, unfortunately, on traditional media's comment sections. There can be Russian trolls pretending as real citizens, luring real people, real Arabs to come to join more deeper and deeper in the social media's rabbit holes of different conspiracy theories and antisocial conspiracies.
يسيكا أرو تحدثت لأخبار الآن عن فرنسا كمثال واضح المعالم بشأن المتصيدين الروس، وأوضحت أن ذلك قضية كبيرة ليس فقط في فرنسا إنما في العديد من الدول الأوروبية. وأوضحت أن تلك الحملات الروسية لنشر المعلومات الكاذبة كانت بدأت العام 2005.
Kremlin under Putin's era has been building these networks at least ever since 2005. So they are already decades ahead of us. And some of these networks have been exposed by journalists and researchers and such, but some of the networks are still in the hiding. And much of it also nowadays is happening through Telegram, through WhatsApp secret groups, through different kinds of secret groups that are really difficult to investigate even as a journalist. So, but it is just like you said, for example, through RT, formerly known as Russia Today, and its daughter company Raptly, which is, by the way, run from Berlin, Germany. So from the heart of NATO and heart of European Union, a Russian operation of international information warfare, they, for example, cooperate in a manner with yellow vest protesters who are protesting against the government, against the so-called elites, who are causing really massive, even violent clashes. So even the protesters say it themselves, RT is their favorite network, and they only want to speak to RT so-called journalists. I wish someone would tell these protesters that RT is, even according to their own chief editor, Margarita Simonia, a tool of Russian information warfare. So it's not your regular media.
ترى يسيكا أرو أن المتصيدين الروس خلاقون في إيجاد وسائل جديدة لنشر دعايتهم، ولسوء الحظ المستبدون الآخرون يحذون حذوهم مثل إيران، إذ تقول أن الحكومة الإيرانية تستخدم أساليب مشابهة جدا لتلك التي يستخدمها الكرملين، فيسكتون الناس بالإكراه ويحاولون منع انتشار الحقيقة، وهكذا يخنقون حرية الكلام والتعبير. وبناء على ذلك الواقع دعت يسيكا أرو إلى وجوب اليقظة تجنبا للسقوط في فخ الدعاية الروسية.
We need to be really vigilant. We need to know that this unfortunate phenomenon exists, but we can also look for help and assistance from other members of our community if we feel that we are targeted by Russian trolls or Russian propaganda. So certainly there are counter techniques to this, and one of them is openness and speaking to other members of the community and spreading awareness. When we think that we might be speaking to a Russian troll, tell about our suspicions to someone who might help. At least this is what has happened in Finland and in international information space. People are exposing these Russian trolls operations and making other members of the audience aware. So I would say awareness is one of the key countermeasures that we can have against protecting against Russian information warfare.
كلنا في غالب الأحيان يحرص على اليقظة لعدم الوقوع ضحية أمر ما، لكن في بعض الأحيان قد نسقط بلا انتباه في الفخ، خصوصا أن الروس كما قالت يسيكا أرو بارعون في الدعاية باعتبارها أحد أسلحة الكرملين. في حال شككنا بأي معلومات، إذن ما الذي يتوجب علينا فعله؟ وجهنا ذلك السؤال إلى يسيكا، وهي بحكم تعاطيها بشكل مباشر مع ذلك الملف كانت لها جملة من النصائح.
To educate yourself more about this topic and look into the sources of different material that is spreading online and on social media services. Look a little bit where it's coming from. Is it coming from known sources of Russian information warfare, such as RT, Russia Today, In the Now, or Raptly, or such? And if you're not sure about who made it, then you can second guess about its credibility. Also, nowadays, Russian trolls are even paying to real social media influencers to promote Russian policies and Russian views. So unfortunately, on social media, you never know whether someone got paid to promote some pro-Kremlin views. So that's also an option. So also look for assistance if in any doubt. There is always someone online looking for the possibility to help you and to help you out and to help you recognize whether it's Russian troll or not. So you're not alone.
هنا تطرح يسيكا أرو إشكالية مهمة جدا قد لا ينتبه لها الكثيرون، فثمة مؤثرون كثر هم أصلا وقعوا في الفخ، وبالتالي باتوا يروجون لمصالح تعارض مصالح بلادهم من دون أن يعلموا ذلك بطبيعة الحال. وهنا مثال واضح على ذلك بلسان يسيكا أرو.
One of the examples in which Russia is known to have offered money, real cash, to TikTok influencers was in spring 2020 when the Russian embassy in Italy, so the Russian diplomats in Italy were known to have offered 20 euros to TikTok influencers if they would have made videos promoting how well Russia had provided help to Italy, which back then had suffered from a really bad COVID outbreak. So they wanted TikTokers to spread this idea of Russia as the big helper of international health. They are also offering indirect support to some of these influencers and helping them to gather money, helping them to raise finances for their operations, also helping influencers to form bigger audiences. So just, I guess they are providing them cooperation that would be mutually beneficial. And unfortunately, sometimes these influencers, they don't even know that this cooperation offer is coming from Russia or Russian security services or Russian propaganda architects, because it's just coming from some, local businessman. So the Russians have really and are building a really sinister network of information manipulation, and unfortunately we don't even know how all of the techniques that they are using.
في ذلك التقرير تقدم يسيكا مساهمة مهمة جدا في فهمنا لعمليات الدعاية الروسية، وذلك يعتبر دليلا دامغا على سياسة الروس في التأثير والترويض أيضا، لكنه حتما ليس كافيا لوقف تلك الدعاية، والدور الأهم يبقى في كيفية العمل على منع الدعاية الروسية، لا سيما من خلال القوانين والأنظمة القانونية التي يجب أن تكون أشد صرامة لمواجهة تحديات النشر المنظم للكراهية عبر الإنترنت، وكذلك الأخبار والمعلومات الكاذبة والمزيفة.